Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Zeelicious cooking series. We're still on with our yam series edition, and I'm about to show you how to make something really yummy using yams. So what I'm going to show you how to make today is called Yam Piccata. It's quite an easy recipe. Let me introduce you to the ingredients. For this recipe, you need half of a medium-sized yam tuber, 1 medium-sized green bell pepper, 1 medium-sized red bell pepper, 1 medium-sized onion bulb, 1 garlic clove, 2 eggs, a quarter teaspoon of thyme, a quarter teaspoon of curry powder, 1 seasoning cube, half of a tablespoon of ground pepper, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, some vegetable oil for frying, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and some salt to taste. So I'm going to start by cutting up my yams. I just peeled the yams, but I didn't cut it offset, just so that I show you exactly how to cut it. And actually, when you peel your yams, you notice that the yams actually tend to start to brown up a bit. How to stop the browning is just put about 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of vinegar in about 4 to 5 cups of water, and just mix it together and put the yams there. The browning will stop completely. So this is half a tuber of yam, and what I'm going to do is just cut this into large circles. For this recipe, you want to try to maintain the same shape or the same size of yams as much as possible. And that is where the beauty of the recipe actually lies. So I'm just, but it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, I mean. But if you can achieve that perfect look, then it's fine. And then for this recipe, when you're cutting the yams, you want to ensure that you have a flat surface. You have like a big amount. I need to put this back into the water because it's actually browning and I don't want that. So when you're cutting your yams, you want to ensure that you have some flat surface right on top of the yam. So I'm just going to do this, cut it, and then cut it like this. So I have this flat surface here because something is going to go on top of it in a bit, and I'm going to show you what's going to go there. So this is how I cut the yam. You can make yours bigger, you can make yours smaller, but I think this shape is perfect so that it fries perfectly. And another reason why you have to cut it in a uniform shape is so that when it's frying in oil, it fries uniformly and it comes out looking, it cooks evenly. That's what I meant to say. So I'm just going to cut this like this and ensure that I have a flat surface right on top. And I'm just going to carry on with the rest. So I've cut up all of my yams. What I'm going to do now is transfer it into this pot that already has some boiling water. It's slightly boiled, but not totally, but that's okay. So I'm just going to transfer everything gently and nicely so that you don't get your hands burned. Please, it's very important that you be really careful in the kitchen, especially when you're dealing with the fire and hot oil or hot water or something. So everything is just going to go in like that. And then next up, I'm going to add some granulated white sugar. Now this is going to give it a whole lot of sweetness. Trust me, you want to add sugar to your yams when you're cooking it next time, especially for this yam recipe though. And of course, a sprinkle of salt, maybe more than 1 sprinkle. 3 sprinkles actually. I'm cooking a lot of yams. Okay, so I'm just gonna jiggle the pot a bit. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Just to ensure that the salt and the sugar is totally incorporated into the water. And that's okay. And I'll just leave this to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes or until my yams are about 70% cooked. I don't want them totally cooked because they will still go into the vegetable oil to experience some frying. Okay, so the yam is about 70% cooked right now. What I'm going to do is use my cooking tongue to just get it out of the pot and place it on this tray. All I want to do right now is just allow it to cool down completely so that it's easy for me to handle before I continue with the cooking process. So everything just goes onto this tray, and I'm so excited for this recipe though. I'm excited to share this recipe. This is one recipe that I love so much, and it's actually one of the recipes that I go for whenever I want to create a different kind of breakfast. Although you can have it for lunch or dinner, but I have it for breakfast most of the time. It's pretty colorful too. Let me let out the secrets. It's so colorful. Remember that you're not supposed to completely. You're supposed to cook it halfway possible, or maybe 70%, so that when you're frying it, it doesn't scatter all over the place. Because frying is actually also a method of cooking. So frying also helps soften the yams. So everything just keeps. So I'm just going to set this aside to cool down for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll come and show you what to do next. Okay, so my yams are perfectly cooled now. What I have here is all-purpose flour. I'm just going to add just a sprinkle of salt to it. And that was 2 sprinkles, but that's okay. And mix it gently with this spoon right here, just to totally combine. Now at this stage, you can add whatever seasoning you want. You can add some seasoning cubes, some pepper. You can add whatever it is you like, as long as the spice goes down well with you. But I'm just keeping it to the minimum, like just salt. And I'm just stirring it around. And then afterwards, I'm just going to take my yam one at a time, and I'm just going to dab it in the flour mixture, and I'm just going to coat it generously with the flour and shake off the excess. That's if there's going to be any excess. And then set it back on the tray. And I'm just going to do this to all of the yam pieces that I have right now. It's going to take a little time, but that's totally fine. If you have kids, you can get your kids to come join you. I'm sure they would definitely love to be a part of this particular process. Okay, I have a long way to go. Okay, so this is the last one, and I'm just going to set this aside, and I think I'd better go wash my hands. You know, I'll come back and show you what goes in next. Okay, so next up, I'm just going to go ahead and transfer my vegetable oil into this wok right here. It's already heating up on medium heat. So everything is just going to go right in like that. You need enough vegetable oil for a deep fry, because all of the yam pieces would have to be submerged into the vegetable oil. That's why I'm using so much for frying. And then while that is heating up, my vegetable oil was asleep. It's starting to wake up now. So while that is heating up, I'm just gonna bring in another mixing bowl. This mixing bowl is a little too big, but if it does the job, then it's fine by me. And I'm gonna crack in 3 eggs in this mixing bowl right here. That's the first one, the second one, and the third one. Remember I said that you can actually add your spices to the flour mixture before you coat the yams with the flour. I prefer to add mine in the egg mixture, because that way it stays with the yam, because the egg is actually like in liquid form. So it helps the spices and the ingredients I'm going to add right now to stick to the yam, and that way you get all of the flavor from all the ingredients added. So I'm going to use half seasoning cube for this. I don't want the flavor to be so intense. So half seasoning cube goes in here. And I'm also going to use some curry powder and some thyme. I said you can use whatever ingredients you prefer. And then this is just some ground pepper for some heat. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit. And of course, I'm going to add some salt to balance out all of the flavors added. Not so much. And then let me just quickly grab my whisk. And I'm just going to give this a really good whisk. Just thoroughly combine all of the ingredients added. This is therapeutic for me, guys. Like, really therapeutic. I'm having a field day doing this. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to do next is, now look at these beauties right here. These colors are giving me life. This is just green bell pepper, red bell pepper, and some onions that I have finely diced. Like, they're really fine and they're really tiny, and this is exactly how you want them. And I'm just going to transfer everything into this egg mixture and mix it all together. This Yam Piccata is coming together perfectly, and I'm liking it. And just mix it together. Now, at this point, you want your oil to get hot enough, because once you actually coat your yam pieces with this mixture right here, you want to just take it directly into the oil. So how you know if your oil is hot enough, you just take a little bit of flour with the tip of your fingers and just gently, no, it's not hot because it didn't sizzle. If it sizzles, then it's hot enough, but it's not hot enough. So let's just give it a little more time to get hot, okay? Okay, so my oil is hot enough, I guess, and have set the heat to medium. What I'm going to do now, this is the fun part, but this is the part where it gets a little bit yucky because you have to go in with your hands, or with your hand, not hands. I'm just going to take one of the yam piece and just generously coat it with the egg mixture, just like so. And then what I'm going to do next is take just a tiny bit of the peppers, that's the green bell pepper, the red one, and the onions, and just place it right on top of the yams like that. You see how it beautifies it already. Now at this point you can use a cooking tongue to take it and put it in the oil, but I think I already know how to do this. But if you do not know, if you're not an expert in the kitchen, use a cooking tongue, okay? So I'm just gonna take this and just drop it in the oil gently. Be sure that the yam stands face up and then the vegetables do not scatter all over the place. And I'm just going to do this in batches, and be careful not to add too many yam pieces at a time into the oil, so that the temperature of the oil doesn't drop. You don't want your yams to come out looking really soggy. So I'm just going to continue with the rest of the yam pieces. I tell you, this is going to be, if you make this for anyone, they literally wonder, how did you make this happen? This is so pretty. Okay, so the second one goes in. Remember, you have to be really, really careful so that the yam doesn't flip over and all the vegetables don't go into the pan. Okay, so this is the third one, and you have to keep a close eye on it. Like, you have to literally eyeball it so that it doesn't burn. This is the third one. That one goes in. I think I'm going to do 4 at a time. And you see why I said that you have to, when you're cutting your yam, that you have to have a base to place stuff on top. This is just the reason why. This is the fourth one. Okay, so I'm just going to stop here and then go pamper the ones that are already in the oil. I'm just going to drop it like that. Oops, that one almost fell. So you want to fry this until it's golden brown, which usually doesn't take so much time at all. And like this, oh, the smell is just so beautiful. This one is already golden brown, but let me just leave it for a little more bit. And I have already set a plate with kitchen paper towel just to absorb the excess oil that will come up from the pan. And all I'm going to do is just use a kitchen tongue, and I'm just going to take it and place it gently right on top of the kitchen paper towel like so. Now tell me if this is not pretty. I think this looks so good. Okay, let's give this one a little more time. Okay, so out you come. And I'm just going to get on with the rest until I've exhausted all of my yam pieces. I'm pretty excited for this. This looks so pretty. Jeez. Now you see why I love this recipe so much. Now this is what your yam piccata should look like when you're done frying it. Your family, your friends will definitely love it. So go ahead and make some for them, okay? And if you're ever going to recreate it, please kindly send me your pictures on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are there as Zeeliciousfoods. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and join our beautiful family, and also so that you can get instant notification whenever we upload a new video. I'll see you again next time with another beautiful recipe. Until then, remember to be kind to one another. Take care.